A young lady named B was in a hurry to go to a cafe. She needed to use the bathroom, but the server wouldn't let her unless she bought something. B decided to purchase a slice of bread to use the bathroom, but the server still asked her to pay first. Since B didn't have time to wait in line, a stranger named Ben stepped in and told the server that B was his wife. Ben then placed an order so B could use the bathroom. Afterward, B thanked Ben, went to the bathroom, and left her coat with him. B was thrilled to meet a good-looking guy and called her friend to tell her about it. But as she chatted, she accidentally splashed water on her pants while using the sink. She had to quickly dry them before leaving the bathroom. Ben checked on her, and she assured him she was fine before leaving the bathroom just in time. B and Ben kept talking at the cafe. When B was ready to leave, Ben called her and asked her out. They both seemed to really like each other. On their first date, B mentioned she did gymnastics for 5 years, and Ben said he was a trader. After their date in the park, B and Ben were spotted together at the apartment. Ben made toast for B, and they kept chatting until late at night. B, who already had feelings for Ben, slept in his arms that night. The next day, B woke up first and gently moved Ben's arm away from her. When Ben woke up and noticed B leaving without saying goodbye, he went about his usual routine. Ben's friend Pete came over and was surprised to find Ben cooking in his apartment, which also served as his office. Meanwhile, B excitedly shared her story about meeting Ben with a friend over the phone, but her excitement quickly faded when she overheard Ben referring to her as a disaster during his conversation with Pete. 6 months later, Ben and Pete went to a club to see their friends Claudia and Hallie, who both like girls. By luck, Ben saw B there, who also happens to be friends with Claudia and Hallie. They all grew up together. After leaving them alone, B and Ben talked. B told Ben she's engaged, so there's no chance for him anymore. Ben said he would get a drink and toast to not seeing her anymore. Claudia and Hallie got married later. Pete was the wedding priest. Claudia's parents wanted to celebrate the wedding in Australia and invited everyone, including Ben and B. Ben teased B when he saw her on the same flight. He asked why B didn't bring her fiancé, but it turned out she had lied to him. A few moments later, their plane took off. At night, B was trying to go to the toilet. She walked into the first-class passenger cabin, where she found the bathroom, but a man entered first. She then saw Ben's seat in front of her and tried to steal the cookies in front of him, but her clothes then got stuck in Ben's seat, which made her unable to move. She had to take off her clothes to change her position. After successfully removing her clothes, she eavesdropped on the music that Ben was listening to. The next day, they got to Australia. They all stayed at Pete's stepdad's house, which had a great view overlooking the beach. While walking there, B told Ben to stay away from her. Claudia told them both to act like grown-ups and move on from the past. While Hi and B went for a swim, they saw a woman named Margaret sunbathing and reading a book. Ben then went to talk to Margaret and asked how she was. It turned out that Margaret was Ben's ex-girlfriend. When B and Hallie were talking about their parents, they saw Ben and Margaret together. B asked Hallie who Margaret was, and Hallie told her about Margaret and Ben's past dating. B sat alone at home, checking if she was still registered as a law student, only to find out that she had been withdrawn from school. Just then, her parents showed up, excited to be in Australia. They asked about her love life, and her father inquired about Jonathan, B's ex-boyfriend. But B didn't want to talk about her personal life. She just wanted some time alone to enjoy her happiness. Meanwhile, Ben is looking at old pictures from when he used to date Margaret. Later, when it's time for the party, Ben and B get ready and see all their friends. Claudia's father gives a speech, then there are fireworks, and they all enjoy their meal. Claudia's friend suggests they play a game where they have to guess an object chosen by their opponent. When it's Ben's turn to play, he uses objects that B thinks are cheating. They argue and end up setting a flower bouquet on fire. Thankfully, Margaret manages to put out the fire with her clothes. After the accident, Claudia's friends and Pete's family gathered. They then came up with an idea to bring them back together. The next morning, Ben, who was exercising lightly on the beach, came home to shower. Pete and Roger quickly took action. They both tried to convince Ben to date B again. Ben, noticing their odd behavior, secretly observed them. He then went to B, who was preparing food. Claudia and Hi were also there to persuade B, but they were unsuccessful. Ben and Bea understood what they were trying to do. In the middle of their conversation, Claudia's mother came to interrupt. She asked both of them to take Roger's sunglasses that he had left on the boat. They then swam to the boat to retrieve what she wanted. Arriving at the boat, Bea then talks to Ben about the fun they had last night. Bea also saw her parents bringing Jonathan here, but she didn't love him anymore. She asks Ben to be her boyfriend so that Jonathan would leave her alone. Besides, it's good for him to avoid Beau. Let's do it, Ben agrees. They go back to the house and pretend to have made up. Everyone is surprised at how quickly they reconcile, including Bea's ex-boyfriend Jonathan. Bea breaks Jonathan's heart, but Bea's parents aren't too happy about it. Bea and Ben then followed Claudia's group to a place in the middle of the forest with beautiful natural scenery. As they continued to argue, Bea thought that Ben wasn't the right man for her because he dated a lot of people. When they got to the edge of the cliff, Ben and Bea tried to tell others that they were dating. Ben asked if he could hold Bea's butt, and Bea said yes. Meanwhile, Pete was focused on watching a koala hanging in a tree and eating leaves. He was really impressed by the koala. Ben and Bea were touching their own bottoms until eventually, Bea found a spider under Ben's pants. Then he quickly took off his shirt and pants to check if there were more spiders on his body. Ben had to wear Bea's pants after that. At the house, Bea's dad was learning to jump into the swimming pool, but he wasn't doing it right. Ben saw this and went over to help him. Bea, who was watching from behind the wall, showed up just in time. She pretended that Ben was her boyfriend in front of her parents. After getting support from both of their parents, they all went into the house. Claudia, Hallie, and Pete noticed that Bea asked Ben another question. Pete doesn't care about the talk they had about the night they spent together. Ben apologized to her. Later, Jonathan and Bea played a big game of chess. Jonathan used the chance to ask Bea when she met Ben. Bea said she hasn't known him for long. Jonathan said he came to Australia because Bea's parents invited him, and he didn't know anything. Bea didn't question it. She thought of Jonathan as part of the family. Ben, who was chilling with Margaret, found out that Margaret thought Beatrice was his girlfriend. Ben quickly talked to Bea about this. Ben wants to make things more serious, but Bea tells him to take it easy. That night, they partied on a big boat. Ben and Bea had to act like a couple again to convince everyone there. When the music played, Ben asked Bea to dance. Bea really enjoyed dancing with him. They even acted out the Titanic scene to impress everyone on the boat. But there was a small accident when they tried to get off the boat. Bea slipped and fell into the water. Without really thinking, Ben quickly jumped into the water to save her. Their friends on the boat then told the captain to rescue them, but the boat couldn't turn around because the water was too shallow. They had to wait for the Coast Guard. They then saw Bea and Ben floating there for some time before the Coast Guard finally came to save them. Despite the uncomfortable situation, Bea and Ben looked romantic. After they got home, they both kept dating. They were really into each other that night. The next day is Claudia and Hallie's wedding. Pete asks Ben to go with him to buy some flowers. Pete wonders how serious Ben is about his girlfriend Bea. When Ben gives a negative answer, Pete jokingly slaps him with the flowers. Pete tells Ben not to avoid him and calls him a playboy. Meanwhile, Bea and Margaret were at the cake shop. Bea accidentally told Margaret that she wasn't serious about Ben. Margaret then asked Bea if she could talk to Ben, and Bea agreed. When they got home with Margaret's wedding cake, Bea's parents asked her about dropping out of law school, thinking Ben had told them. Ben came by with flowers, but Bea got angry at him. It turns out Pete, not Ben, had actually told Bea's parents. The fight between Bea and Ben continued, and Bea also confessed that she wasn't really dating Ben. The incident didn't stop the wedding party. Claudia, Hal's parents, Ben, and Bea, and everyone else were getting ready for Hai and Claudia's wedding. Ben accidentally overheard Claudia blaming Bea and him for ruining their wedding. Claudia said she was very stressed. Ben, who saw Bea, didn't care about her. He didn't want to pretend in front of everyone anymore. During the wedding, Ben kept watching Bea, but she didn't seem to like him. They stayed apart until the ceremony ended. Bea, talking to Claudia and Hallie, saw Margaret kissing Ben. Bea was jealous and left the party feeling sad. She then took an Uber to somewhere else. Ben took a moment to understand what happened to Bee. Pete and Roger tried to tease him again, but Ben told them to stop. After getting advice from everyone, Ben decided to search for Bee. He thought Bee might be close to the opera house. Without wasting time, Ben asked his friends to call the Coast Guard. Then he jumped into the sea. While waiting for the Coast Guard to pull him up, he asked them to take him to the opera house. Bee, who was alone there, was very happy when she saw Ben coming to her. The two of them finally shared a romantic kiss. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe for more videos.